Hey everybody, thanks for joining me again today. Um, I'm just getting home. It's been quite a day. We've got winter weather advisory here in my area, which not only means there's going to be a dumping of snow, which it started yesterday, started as rain, turned to sleet, then turned to snow, and now they're saying that the snow will continue through tomorrow, maybe? But it looks like it's lightening up now. But winter weather advisory. So, what does that mean? I don't know if you have it wherever you are, but here in Minnesota, if we have a winter weather advisory, we're going to get a good dumping of snow. Usually, along with that, we are told that there is a snow emergency. If there's a snow emergency, there's different things that happen on different days of the week. First day of the snow emergency, they'll say all cars that are parked on snow emergency routes must be moved. We have permanent signs on different streets where there's higher traffic, and those are often considered the snow emergency routes because need to be able to have emergency medical and fire and police. All those folks need to be able to get cleared through to help people in whatever situation. So day one of a snow emergency is means that those streets after 6 p.m., 5 p.m., 6 p.m., I'm not sure, the cars should be off those streets because they're going to be coming through with their special chemical salt where it clears the streets, does a wonderful job, and they'll have plows coming through, clearing the rest of that snow. Anybody that's out there during that time, they're going to get ticketed and towed. Now, we know that getting a ticket, any old regular parking ticket, is not cheap anyway. Getting a ticket during this time, you're going to be paying some money. Not only paying for that ticket, but you'll be paying for that tow, and you'll be paying for that impound fee, and every day that increases. And if you never had a car impounded, I did years ago, an old car years ago. It takes about half a day to get it out of the impound. So that's like you're not only giving away the money that you're making at work, but you're also missing a day of work pretty much, or at least half a day. It takes a long time to go through the sea of cars to find your vehicle. Anyway, so got home, parked in the right spot, not on a snow emergency route. Day two of the snow emergency, they'll say no parking on either the even or the odd side of the street of the non-snow emergency route. And then day three, it's the opposite side. So then that way they go down and they plow one side and then they plow the other side the next day so that everything gets clear. People are still able to get in their vehicles, go where they need to go safely. It's how we kind of manage things in Minnesota. So, got all that parking done. Got my last food box of the season from the Community Cooks program, which is affiliated with Appetites for Change. So, and I know I haven't done a lot of videos on this stuff in a while. Sorry, I'm making a mess, dropping stuff. But I can go through what I have this time. It's a lighter box, but this is the last box of the season. Of course, I got another cabbage. Thankfully, my kidneys like cabbage because they're going to be having a cabbage good time. I got a couple more squash. I've had a lot of squash varieties this season, but the squash is really healthy and good for me too, so yay to the squash. I got 3 red potatoes, curry powder. I'm always happy when they're giving seasonings because, yay, you want to treat yourself, not cheat yourself, right? So we want to have some flavor in our food. Coconut milk, double yay, because there's lots of good stuff that you can do with coconut milk, not only with the recipes that they gave, because of course they gave 2 recipes as usual, but also a lot of kidney-friendly things that you can do with that coconut milk. So, recipes this week are winter veggie hash and curry chicken and squash. And the food, the grower spotlight this week is Jane Angieri, who has a farm in Kilmo, Minnesota, which is where the cabbage came from. And I'm not sure about the squash because it doesn't mention that, but definitely the cabbage came from there this time. It's someone that is from an African group of farmers this time. I like it. It's really cool because, here in Minnesota, sometimes we'll have food from Hmong farms, food from African farmers, food from just a variety. It's nice to have a variety of things. Oh, yeah. They did also give me a dozen eggs, too. Don't want to skip the eggs. And the meat of the week got double protein. You got the eggs. Got chicken again. The chicken is always nice to get because we know that the prices are going up. And the thing about the chicken is when they give it and it's nicely packaged, it's skinless. They've already took that skin off. The skin of the chicken is a part that you don't really want to eat if you're on a diet for someone with like chronic kidney disease or end-stage renal disease. It's not best to not eat the skin. You can cook it with the skin on and then take it off before you eat it, or you can just take it off and prepare it without having the skin on there. But we want to keep our cholesterol down. We want to keep our blood pressure down to a good level. We want to keep our EGFR numbers higher as possible so that we can be as healthy as possible. And looking at the recipes, they gave me curry powder, sweet curry powder. The recipe, they're talking about turmeric, but they actually gave me curry. But that's okay, because you know me. I've got some turmeric, because I like to cook with turmeric. They've got information about the difference between the red and the green cabbage, which I've gotten a lot of green cabbage lately, but that's okay. Because like I said, it's still good for my kidneys. My kidneys are very happy with that cabbage. But there's also a partner that they have this time, Wayzata Bay Spice Company. All these cute little bottles of spice that they send in these food boxes to help make the food not only taste better, but to be good for you nutritionally too. This time the partner spotlight is Wayzata Bay Spice Company, which is locally owned. It's always nice to be able to have a locally owned business. So all the East Side table spice, and that's what we consider an East Side table spice, has been coming from Wayzata Bay Spice Company this year. We've had Italian seasoning, we've had lemon pepper, pumpkin pie spice, we've had cumin, we've had turmeric, we've had curry, and we've, had adobo seasoning too. We've had a lot of really good stuff. But these are recipes that I'll be working on later. But, while we're on here, I just wanted to tell you today, for the first time, I went to see Les Miserables. People are always talking about it. Oh, it's so wonderful. And, of course, I know that song, I Dream the Dream, because I love that song. I've listened to it on YouTube and wherever. America's Got Talent and all those programs. So I really enjoyed that song. I love the way Susan Boyle sings it. I love the way Elaine Page sings it. Um, but to actually see the entire program was actually pretty awesome. First time going to any Broadway type program because I'm more of an opera girl. But I tell you, this was good. But let me tell you what happened. We get to the theater, and the tickets ain't cheap. It ain't nothing to sneeze at. I'm just saying. Even the cheap tickets are not so cheap, but you're getting a quality program. So that's one of those things where you're like, oh goody, I'm gonna save up my money and be able to get those tickets as soon as the box office is open, so that way I have them, save them, and be ready to go. Well, I went with my friend Jan, and we were expecting her daughter to make it in town from Australia, but she didn't make it, so we had the third ticket. She tried to turn it back in at the box office, and they're like, nope, no refunds. You have a cutoff date for doing refunds on tickets and different things, I guess. So she still had that ticket. We get there early because, it's winter weather advisory, but hey, we're still going. We got these tickets, we going. Them tickets were not, like I said, it's nothing to sneeze at, so we were still going. But okay, she's got a third ticket. It's like, what are you going to do? She said, I need to find somebody to give it away to. So we're looking around, looking who's by themselves, because you don't want to give a ticket to somebody that's like 2-3 people. And then the other people were like, well, so what are we going to do? Because our seats were all together. So we saw one woman talking on the phone, asked her if she needed a ticket. We weren't trying to sell it or anything, just giving it away. She said, oh no, I'm waiting on the group that I'm with to come, blah, 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 and we got this will call thing, blah, blah, blah. Okay. So, we're scanning around again, looking to see who's walking by themselves. And there's like so many people coming up and down the street by the Orpheum. And see this guy coming. He's like walking really quickly, his hat pulled down. Taller guy, just like really moving. And I just kind of step up there and, hey, would you like a ticket? We're not trying to sell it or anything. We have an extra ticket. The other person wasn't able to make it, and we're willing to give it to you. You can join us at the show. And he smiled and he said, thanks, but I'm in the show. So that was kind of cool to actually meet somebody that was one of the main characters in the show. It was actually really cool. So he kept going, and I thought, wow, I didn't expect that. But we were really early, and who knows, maybe he was rushing to get in so he can get in the costume or whatever. Then we looked around, and here comes another person. This woman's coming up. And we look and we say, yeah, let's get her. And so we just kind of like boxed her in and said, hi, are you planning on going to see Les Mis? She said, yep, I'm coming so that I can try to see if they have any spare tickets. I'm going to get in the line and try to get a ticket right now. We have a ticket. We're not trying to sell it or anything. We're just, if you want it, you can have it. You'll be sitting with us. But you are more than welcome to have it. Boy, she got so happy, and she was just overjoyed and talked about, how, times are tough. We know times are tough right now for all of us, really. The whole world has changed. So she's talking about how things have changed, and, she wasn't working and borrowed the money because she really wanted to come to the show, blah, 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 blah. And she was so happy, and it looked like it made her feel like $1 million. And I tell you, for me and Jan, it made us feel like $1 million. So today, we not only shared a ticket with someone, we made a new friend who sat with us. and laughed and whispered through the program. And so, Jane, if you're out there, it was nice meeting you. And I hope we get to do something like that again. And maybe we can all like coordinate and work it out and get something that's, budget wise is going to work for all of us and time wise will work for all of us. But it was really, really awesome meeting you today and being able to share this experience of my first time at Les Mis. Because this was my first time at Les Mis. They both had been, but, Jan had been several times. Jane had been a few times. I had never been. But being together and talking about interests, it seemed like we had so much in common, and it was really, really nice. It really was nice today. And one thing that's funny is that aside from going to church and to the grocery store, this was like the first major thing that I've done since the Rona started a couple of years ago. So it was really nice to get out. And there were a lot of people out for a matinee show. But the prices of tickets were, wow. Of course, we were on the lower end of the tickets, but even the lower end of the tickets were still kind of up there, and they went from there to just up there. But it was nice. But I didn't feel anxious. It was okay. It was comfortable with my long legs. But they had cushions for people that needed a little lift up on the seat so they could be able to see the performance. But what was nice is that although we were further back in the room, we were right in the middle, so we got the full view of everything. And I tell you, the performance was really top notch. I'm still an opera fan, though. Minnesota Opera is number one. But if I had to choose, I definitely would have to say this was a close second, a very close second. Because they nailed those notes, they hit them perfectly. I love the scenery changes. I loved when the man jumped into the, well, spoiler alert if you hadn't seen it. I know I hadn't seen it before. Most of the world knows about it, but I'm a little bit late in the game, obviously. But when the officer jumped off the bridge and he was like falling, like, how do you do that in live theater? It was done so well. It was pretty dang amazing. I really, really enjoyed everything. The costumes were perfect. The scenery, the changes in scenery, even the children performing in it. They were all really doing a good job. I really enjoyed it. But I won't linger on because I know I have a tendency to do that. But thank you for joining me, and I look forward to talking to you again soon. And next time, hopefully, I'll be preparing some of the stuff that I just got in today, but I need to thaw first from being out there. My feet are still cold, even though I had on my boots and all my stuff. Hope that you are taking care of yourself and treating yourself, not cheating yourself in any hard way. And I know this is a difficult time of year for a lot of people. Whether you celebrate Christmas or Hanukkah or, Kwanzaa or Happy Festivus for the rest of us. You know what I'm saying? Whatever you celebrate or whatever your needs are at this time of the year, I know it can be hard. And sometimes the people that are doing the most work and pushing and giving the most support, people don't realize all the stuff that they're going through and that they're tired and that they're stressed and they need somebody to say, hey, let's take a minute so that you can regroup, check on them. How are they doing? If you think that your friend or whomever may be severely depressed, it's a good time to call. First call for help from United Way, or call any kind of depression or suicide prevention hotline. There's a lot of things that you can do. And it's different numbers depending on what state and what country you're in and all that. So that's why I'm not like throwing all that out there, because I know that there are some viewers from other places around the world. But thank you for joining me. If you found this interesting at all or whatever, you can hit that like button. I'd appreciate that. You feel free to subscribe if you're not a subscriber yet. Share with someone else. Put a comment down in the comment section. So what did you think about this Appetites for Change and Community Cook stuff that I was getting from May until now? You think it's worth it? I didn't have to pay anything out of my pocket. All I had to do is register for it, take the ingredients, try out the recipes, sometimes modify the recipes, because if you're living with end-stage renal disease or chronic kidney disease, some things that are on here you have to change up so that you keep your numbers good and you stay healthy and strong. But that's been a part of the process, because I didn't find out about the CKD until after I had already started this program. But having good, fresh, whole foods has helped. It has helped me a lot. I feel a lot better. You know, part of the problem is changing those habits and those mindsets that we have, where we're always wanting to go to the burger joint or the taco joint or whatever, have that morning donut or whatever. You got to change those habits and make them healthy habits. You can have the same stuff in moderation. And especially, it's better if you're able to make it yourself at home. Let's be real. So that's part of the things that I see that I've learned this year. And yeah, I still like to treat myself and not cheat myself. But I sure ate a lot of squash this year, if you know what I'm saying. And I got a lot of kale, which I appreciate the kale, because you know what I did? I tore it off, cut it up, put it on the dehydrator, dried all that out. It's put away. So I'm using that to make my soups and stews and lasagna and different things all winter. Because you know, this one don't like to go out and have to do a whole lot of shopping in the winter. And I know not everybody has those same options, but if you have that option, it's good to do something to have a backup plan, because we don't know if something will happen where the stores will be out of food, trucks not delivering, power outages. We see that going on all around the nation. If it's dehydrated, your power can go out and you still have some dried food. You have some dried onions. You have some dried carrots and peas and whatever. And you can still make things work. Just something to think about. And, you know, life means change, right? Do you want to grow with that change? Do you want to move forward? Propel yourself forward and not stay stuck in the same old place, just going through the motions. But I've talked enough for now, and I'm hungry. Because one thing that they did not have when I went to see Les Mis, it's not like going to the movie theater. You're not getting a bunch of Raisinets or soda pops or whatever. Not that I need that kind of stuff anyway, but I ate a light breakfast and forgot that the program didn't start till 1 o'clock and it wasn't over until 4 o'clock. For some reason I thought it was 2 hours, but no, it was 3 hours with a nice little intermission in the middle. But thank you for joining me. Put in the comment section, have you seen Les Mis? What do you think about that program? There were some scenes that were just like, wow. You know, I'm looking at it, it's like, oh no, they didn't. Oh no, they're not selling that little girl. Oh no, they're not doing this, doing that. It was good for me. And what is your favorite thing about the food boxes that you're seeing this season? Love to hear from you. Anything that you would like for me to show in upcoming videos, put in the comment section. Love to hear from you. Thank you again for joining me, and take care.